Were you aware that breathing is one of the only physiological processes that we have voluntary and involuntary control over? Focus on your breath, and you can hold your breath, speed it up, slow it down. Shift your focus elsewhere, and you will continue to breathe as needed to sustain life. Perhaps even more remarkable is that through simple breathing techniques, we can bring peace, tranquility, and serenity within our bodies and our minds, even amidst unrest and chaos outside of our bodies. Our breath is arguably the most important process that we perform. In survival skills class, we learn the rule of threes. 3 weeks without food, and you're in trouble. 3 days without water, and you're in serious trouble. 3 minutes without oxygen or breathing, and you're in even more trouble. In the year 2020, we were introduced to a viral pandemic that still affects the lives of over 7 billion people worldwide. This isn't the first pandemic in human history, nor will it be the last. But one thing to consider is that while everyone experienced the same pandemic, the individual experiences of this pandemic were not the same. What this simply means is that our view and perspective of the world is different based upon our internal vantage point. And even though we might be living in the same country or even in the same household, we can have vastly different experiences of the exact same event. Why is this important and powerful? Because our perspective of the world shapes our thoughts, our behaviors, and our health. How we think, our belief of what is possible, and how we feel internally has a profound effect on how we experience the world around us every day. They say that knowledge is power, and it certainly has the potential to be. But knowledge without belief is powerless. So how do we change our beliefs? One way is through tapping into our body's most important physiological process, breathing. Here's the great part. This isn't just for yogis, Buddhist monks, and experts in meditation. Breathing exercises to enhance performance and health are practiced by everyone, from world-renowned elite athletes to stay-at-home parents, to prominent business professionals, Navy SEALs, and even scout leaders. When compared to digestion, brain function, and even our heartbeat, breathing is the most important function we perform every day. And as I mentioned, even more important than eating food and drinking water. Many experts say that most people don't know how to breathe properly, and that we should have lessons on breathing. Study after study shows us that conscious control of our breath and performing mindful breathing practices can dramatically reduce stress hormone cortisol levels in our bodies, lower our blood pressure, improve immune function, along with many other health benefits. So, when taught how to be mindful of our breath through simple breathing techniques, we can improve nearly every facet of our lives, from the way we digest our food to how we cope with stress, anxiety, depression, and trauma. Our youth are facing a tragic crisis and have been for years. In case you weren't aware, death by suicide is the second leading cause of death among youth and adolescents, and in the United States, we've seen a 41% increase in the rate of suicide among all age groups since the turn of the century. Furthermore, preliminary results for more than a year of COVID-19 data show a dramatic 30% increase in the reporting of anxiety and depression among adults in America. All it takes is 11 seconds to change the physiology of your body, alter your mood, and affect the internal biochemistry, neurology, and functioning of billions of cells. I want you to join me on this. Close your eyes for me right now. Go ahead. This will only take a moment. With your eyes closed, I want you to think of a number from 1 to 10, with 1 being completely relaxed and at peace, so much so that you could fall asleep peacefully and easily with a smile on your face. The number 5 represents a feeling of adequacy. Not great, but not terrible either. And 10 would be completely stressed, freaked out, nervous, angry, or the like. With your eyes still closed, choose a number between 1 and 10 that represents how you feel right now. Whatever number comes to mind first, don't negotiate your way out of that number. Just commit to it and remember that number. Imagine it in your head. Now, open your eyes and write that number down somewhere. Now, I want you to imagine a negative feeling such as anger or anxiety as a fire inside your body. The more angry you are, the hotter and bigger the fire. Our bodies are already composed mostly of water, and it's not water that puts out this fire, it's our breath. Through breath, we can extinguish the flames, release the heat and inflammation from our bodies, and change our internal environment to one that promotes peace and positivity. Our nervous and endocrine hormone systems play multiple roles in how our bodies communicate internally. When we're scared, angry, stressed, or the like, our body shifts into what's known as sympathetic autonomic response, known well as fight, flight, or freeze. While this state is acutely important for our evolutionary survival as a species, chronic stress is linked to nearly every form of preventable chronic diseases, from heart disease to metabolic syndrome, and even some forms of cancer. Through the practice of mindful breathing techniques, we can shift our nervous system into a state known as the parasympathetic autonomic response, also known as rest, digest, and heal. This is how we put out the fire inside caused by stress, anxiety, anger, and fear, often triggered by events outside of our bodies. I am practicing a technique that I've affectionately named the 416 breathing technique. And I've been teaching and practicing this technique with my students for years. I'm a public high school science teacher, and I've been teaching science and wellness education in a public school for more than 16 years. By implementing and incorporating mindful breathing techniques and activities in the classroom setting, I've seen dramatic improvements in everything from student performance and attendance to actual student health, both physical and mental. I even teach these techniques to local businesses, politicians, industry professionals, and doctors. By using the 416 breathing technique, students can improve their test scores, academic achievement, and boost their ability to study and retain information. Think back to the last time you sat down to take a test that you've studied and prepared for, only to find yourself drawing a blank, struggling with the questions that you were sure you knew the answer to. And of course, after you turn in your test, once your body has relaxed and the fire of stress and anxiety within has calmed down, it's as if the mind wakes up. Suddenly you remember the answers to the questions that you were struggling with. Not only is this 416 technique valuable for improving your mental and physical health, but it's also a great test-taking technique, similar to having a hard candy in your mouth while studying and taking a test, or studying with your favorite genre of music. For those students who struggle to find a quiet place to study in a busy home, mindful breathing techniques like 416 can help to bring your focus to your studies by helping you to become less distracted by the environment around you. Techniques like this have been practiced by mindfulness experts for thousands of years, and they work for everyone, not just those in the yoga studios and religious temples. Okay, let's do this together. I'm going to take you through my simple 416 breathing technique that I've developed, and you can begin using this in your life today. Close your eyes and sit up straight with your hands resting palms up or palms down on your thighs. It's important to inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth for this exercise. We'll be inhaling for 4 seconds, holding our breath for 1 second, and exhaling for 6 seconds. Okay, eyes closed and begin. Inhale through your nose for 1, 2, 3, 4, hold. Exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. And exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. Exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, with your eyes still closed, I want you again to choose a number from 1 to 10 that represents how you feel right now. Whatever number comes to mind first, embrace that number, remember that number, imagine it in your head. Now open your eyes. Compare that number now versus the number from just a few moments ago. And if your number is lower this time, this means that the fire of negative energy in the form of stress hormone inside your body has come down, while everything in your external environment has remained exactly the same. You have effectively controlled your state through controlling your breath, and you achieve this in about 2 minutes. Imagine if you're practicing this 4-1-6 breathing technique for 5 minutes every morning and every evening. Imagine starting your day with peace and positivity and ending your day with peace and positivity. Even doing this for a couple of minutes can have a profoundly positive effect. This method is free. It's accessible 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it works for everyone of every age, and it can be shared with everyone you know. The 4-1-6 technique is just one of many tools that you possess, giving you the power and ability to control your view of the world and your emotional state, one breath at a time. There's an African proverb that states, "If there is no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm."